We are the guinea pig collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back. If you were just joining in the chat, be sure to go ahead and share the link out there because YouTube hates us. What's up, Steve?
I have to specify, given the ending of the intro, that the two of us are not slack-jawed faggots.
That is for the people that maybe get a little bit upset about some of the things that I say and they just don't know how to take it. So I take jabs at them. That's the way that works.
Very homogenic thing to say.
Hey, you know what? Jesse the Body has it going. He knows exactly what to say in any occasion, and I love that one.
Yeah.
So how you doing today, Steve?
Doing quite well. It's been pouring down. So the snow we had for the last 2 days is already gone. So that's how winter's like. In my area, it's snow for a while and then rain and then mostly ice, actually.
Are you going to get hit with that big polar thing that's supposed to be coming down? There's like a polar vortex.
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about because they're talking about the upper west north side of the most of the United States is going to get hit by this thing, and it's supposed to really drop down temperatures.
It's still pretty far away from me, though. The Atlantic is in the way.
No, you never know with these things because I don't know exactly where they start. So I mean, I don't know how far it stretches. It's just one of those things. But
I'll just burn a hooker or something.
Let's say hi to some of the lovely people here in chat, guys. I am putting the link in the chat in case anybody wants to stop in and say hi and chit chat for a while. We're just bullshitting. We're going to look over a couple of funny articles as long as my internet doesn't crap out and it uploads to the next article. But what's going on? First one in the house is Miss Martin Muses. Hello, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Parrothead is also in the house. What up, Parrothead? Papa Cotton also in the house. What's up, Papa? I hope you're burning one for all us piggies. King of Squibs is in the house. What up, Squibs? Good to see you. Jens, what's up, Jens? Good to see you, man. I hope that you were doing well. Guys, remember to share the link out. I know Wookie did earlier. Thank you, Wookie, the first one to jump on and share that link out on the swatters for us. They hate us. They hate guinea pigs. They like to suppress us, and it is not cool. So I don't know if anybody caught this. I'm sure most of you did, but Stieg had started a shitstorm on Twitter yesterday that was it was quite entertaining to watch some of the people that were melting down to try to do anything they can to twist the agenda. So now it all started because RC, and I've talked about this one a few times. We got Jens in the back.
To be fair, though, you're the one who started it because you told me about it. I've
been talking about it for a while. It's one of the things they did do in the IDW comics, and these people are trying to act like, oh, it's a trans thing. It's a trans thing. They did it in the IDW comics where they took RC's original origin story and they changed it from she was a female Autobot to she was somebody who was taken by Jyaxis, who was the instructor for Shockwave. And he changed her into a female robot. And originally, the way they were trying to tell it in that story is that she was the first and only female Autobot, which is absolute bullshit because, you know, you got Alita 1, who was Ariel before. I mean, we already know those stories from the Sunbow cartoon. It wasn't nothing new. And then later on in the story, because they like to contradict themselves, because IDW is full of a bunch of morons, they actually talked about, well, there's a whole nother planet where it's a whole bunch of female Autobots on it. So they contradict themselves so much, and these people are sitting there and they're standing for it and they're making up excuses for it, why it's so good, and it was just so ridiculous. From now on, I'm calling those people the Agenda Formers fans. But yeah, you went ahead and made that post. That post blew up, and oh Jesus, go ahead and talk about some of the ridiculous you've seen from that shit.
Well, I just muted it after a while. Because I just posted it like, this is yet another one where they take a strong female lead and change the character just to cater to whatever agenda, right? So
I think it makes sense.
Well, it didn't make sense because it said RC is now a transgender lesbian.
No, that is because I always thought Transformers were like dudes, right? So to humiliate a Transformer, you would change him into a woman and now go back to your mates.
Well, this one was a woman from the get-go. She was in a relationship with Springer, right?
Well,
and so it's like thinking, how can she be a lesbian if it's already established that she is in a relationship with a male Autobot? Anyway, I just posted that, and then I didn't hashtag it. I didn't tag anyone. It just blew up, and it's people lost their damn minds. There's been death threats. There's been all kinds of stuff, and it's still ongoing.
Yeah, you're homophobe.
It has over 1.7 million views now.
Over 1 million.
1.7 million and still going up.
Nearly 2 million, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hashtag anything. And it also made RC trend. The female Autobot is now trending. So I'm like, okay. That's excessive.
Well, I think the funniest thing with a lot of those Agenda Formers fans is they sat there and they come up with this argument that, oh, well, it's already established. It's already there. And then when you counter them and you counter them with logic, and I countered them with articles that were already out there about this thing, they sat there and their best that they could do, well, I can't take that article serious because they have the word woke somewhere in there. Really? Is that what you're going to do? It wasn't like I pulled that thing from Bleeding Cool or any of the other sites that we typically hear most of the YouTubers pull articles from. I pulled it from it was like sci-fi something that I pulled it from. And the biggest thing to take away from this, if it was so beloved, like a lot of these mad Looney Tunes with their brains melting out of their heads arguing about the shit, if it was so beloved like they claim it was, then why was that shit canceled by Hasbro? Why did they lose the license?
It's not supposed to make sense, is it? Like they just want to complain. Like most soy bitches, they haven't got a good argument, and so they will just cry and moan about anything. Just hoping that, like a child, you'll just give in to their constant moaning and whining. That you'll just be like, okay, then let's do it your way.
Well, you know me, Jens. I don't do that, so I argued with him for a while with logic and reason, and then I started mocking the shit out of him, and I told him, look, you're probably better off eating some glue paste and eating some crayons in a corner somewhere and just leaving this one alone.
Well, the funny thing is that they kept saying that, well, she's a robot. She can transform into anything. It literally has trans in it. So I was thinking, okay, so RC is now, well, according to them, the SJWs, RC is transforming into something she is not in order to hide who she is.
Right, she's a man. She's a man with extra steps. She's a man with extra steps in disguise now.
Maybe she was one of them transform, or maybe he/she was one of those Transformers who was reading a lot of Wonder Woman and Black Widow and a bit of She-Hulk, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I'll go in for the operation.
Oh,
What was it? Dark
Jesus.
Side or Dark Tone or something? Changed him, slashed hair.
Yeah,
You were
Hey,
saying.
what's up, Soul Assassin? What's going on, Pacific 414? Welcome. I hope that you guys are doing well. Yeah, Papa Cotton, I think he nailed it right on the head. They're cultural locusts. They're doing the same thing all over the place, but people only care when it hits the stuff they love. And that was one of the arguments that I made with a couple of people. They were like, well, why do you care? You know, who cares? You know, it's just one person's idea of it. But that's the problem. It's one person's idea that goes into another franchise, that goes into another IP, and then you're not supposed to say anything because they want to call you a phobe or this, that. You know, screw you, buddy.
That happened immediately, and you know what? It now has 759 angry quote tweets.
Yeah, you're gonna get some haters there, Sticky. Yeah, good job, you have. Yeah, good job, John. Haven't doxed yourself or out.
Yeah, this has happened before though. A few years ago when they did the final season of the Clone Wars, where you have Ahsoka kick Darth Maul 10 feet through the air through a window, and then defeat him while he has a lightsaber and she has nothing. So I said, you know, Ahsoka's turning into a bit of a Mary Sue, right?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And holy hell, the Filoni fanboys lost their minds. Was getting death threats left and right. And it had like...
Ahsoka's the best Jedi female ever. Leave her alone.
Yeah, and you know what? The Disney Star Wars fans have got nothing on the Filoni fanboys. The Filoni fanboys are way more unhinged.
Well, they're just soy. No, yeah, but the just soy nerd bitches who just want female-led characters. Because apparently, I heard Dummcock is bringing. He's saying Filoni is going to be bringing the Cara Dune like spin-off series. What was it, Rogue Elite or something? I don't know. But anyway.
No, they've already killed off Cara Dune, I think.
No. Well, no. According to Dummcock, he's saying his sources are saying that they're going to be redoing the Cara Dune spin-off series. I forget what it's called.
You know what? You know those sources on Reddit. I would like to tell every last one of them this:
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Doomcock has been dead wrong 98% of the time.
No.
The only thing he's gotten right is stuff that's basically been confirmed.
No, he's not 100% right all the time. But the things he says have been coming true because he said about the Indiana Jones 5 with all the reshoots and that, and the trailers have been showing a bit more of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and so. Well, anyway, it's about tomorrow news. It's about tomorrow's news, and tomorrow's news is gonna be apparently that they're bringing the Cara Dune show with what's her name?
Well, they already killed off the character in the canon comic or novel or whatever it was.
No, well, they're saying that they're in canon no more. They don't care. It's a comic. No one gives it. It's like
I think
you ain't going to be bothered. You look. They know about soy nerd bitches, and if they get what's her name who plays Cara Dune?
Gina Carano.
Yeah, just it, Gina Carano.
Well, because why the hell would
they know if they get Gina Carano, there's loads of like so-called dudes who'll be like, "Oh yeah, I gotta watch this."
If Gina Carano goes back to Disney, she has no integrity whatsoever.
The idea that Disney's going to hire her back is a stretch, Jens.
Wow.
And if you're buying into that,
what?
I think you've been hitting the pipe.
Kathleen Kennedy has been fired, what, 89 times now?
Yeah, she's been fired over and over again because this is the year. This is the year that they're going to put her out the pasture in that golden stall with all the hay for her. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
The funny thing is, though, when she eventually retires, because she's in her 70s, Doomcock's going to scream that he was right. So eventually it's going to happen. She's going to retire.
No, well, apparently he's saying she isn't going to retire. If you watched his recent video he uploaded, he's saying she's like Dracula. She's just coming back. Like, you can't kill her. Every time you think you hammered the stake through her heart. And that's why he's saying that they're going to do a Cara Dune series and that with Gina Carano, and they're going to do it because they know if they don't do it, there's no what other Star Wars have they got? They've only got Mandalorian. It's a desperate measure. You see, I'm thinking it's going to happen because I know that Fabio, no, he'd have been fighting hard for Gina and all with the saying, look, we need her because apparently his ideas have been messed around so much that like he's probably getting a bit sick and tired, and he's like, look, if you don't do what I say, I'm not going to be giving you much good entertainment.
Well, Filoni hasn't been giving any good entertainment anyway.
Well, that ain't what the doing figures show.
Do you know who was behind what happened to Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy?
Ooh,
that was Dave Filoni. He was helping with planning the sequel trilogy. Disney released an excerpt of it in one of the sequel trilogy, the making of. That was Dave Filoni's contribution. He wanted it to be more about the females because he wanted to bring the matriarchy back to Star Wars.
Well, he's probably realised how much of a soy-haired bitch he's been and thinking, fuck it, we need masculine action. We'll do the Mandalorian. And
then he did a speech in front of a feminist audience where he bashed Star Wars fans for not liking female characters in Star Wars.
And soy-haired bitches cried. It was like, oh, yep. No, don't do that to us, no. What? I don't give a fuck. As long as he's doing good masculine action, I'm not bothered. I like Arnie. And look what the shit he's done, but I still love his films. If he comes out with Conan, King Conan, I'll be watching it.
Yeah.
I've told you, I've told everyone, I don't care as long as it's good entertainment. Well, it's when it's bad entertainment.
Did you watch the Mandalorian episodes when the Mandalorian got...
Oh, Picard season 3. That's when it's like, no.
Well, he got emasculated in front of 4 women in one episode. Beaten up by one of them. Oh, that was Boba Fett, sorry.
I don't remember that episode. The only thing I remember in Boba Fett is him getting...
It was season 2.
Was there in the Boba Fett season 2?
He was in the Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, Mandalorian season 2. Boba Fett gets beaten up.
It was basically chastised by all the female characters and beaten up by one of them.
But what must have been? Well, I can't remember that.
Hold on, Jens. Soul Assassin, I see, yeah, Gina won't go back after all the shit they gave her. I don't think she will. That's why she moved away from it. And once KK goes, nothing will change because all her followers, I don't even think it's all her followers. And this is something else I've talked about. You got to remember all these decisions for Star Wars and all these other shows, they come down from up top. So you're talking board of directors that give the walking orders to everybody. It's the people that are at the top, the board of directors that are ones that are calling the shots. They're the ones that put people like Kathleen Kennedy in place. They're the ones that said, let's bring in Dave Filoni. They knew these people didn't really have any kind of real respect for these franchises. but that's who they put in place anyway. And even if some of them did have some kind of respect for it, guess what? They have more respect for the paycheck that they're going to earn, so they're going to do exactly what they're told.
Yeah, they want to be associated with the brand.
Absolutely.
Well, Mandalorian
And
is
now
going up.
they've made Luke Skywalker gay.
Well, that's what soy-head bitches, isn't it? Who the thought would watch a female-led action series of Jedi? It's like, they know how soid and in utero they are. Like, they'll probably make Chewbacca a like transvestite soon.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, he'll come out with lipstick.
I'll tell you what, once they do something like that, though, Jens, here's what's going to happen. The minute they do something like that, all of a sudden, one of the most hated shorts that was ever created for Star Wars, which was the original Christmas one, that original Christmas one is going to suddenly be seen very well in the eyes of a lot of the original fans because it's going to be 10 times better than the crap that Disney is pumping out right now. Soul Assassin also adds in there. Filoni wants to remake the original films with Ahsoka as the lead. I wouldn't doubt it.
No, I don't know. Even Filoni knows that ain't gonna work. Filoni, he wanted to like make the sequels non-canon. But he's getting fight back. But he's doing masculine action. He's doing masculine action.
He literally said he's tying the Mandalorian stuff into the sequel trilogy. And Jon Favreau said it too.
No, he don't want to. But anyway, I don't care because it's masculine action.
He don't want to. He literally said he wants to. Jens. Here, I'm going to have to mute you for a second. He literally said that that's what he wants to do. So how can you say he don't want to?
Because they have to say shit to keep the job, but he knows masculine action sells. He knows that little boys don't want to play with little dolls of girls. They don't want. Maybe grown men want to fantasize about having a girlfriend like Ahsoka, and they're going to have like 12-inch figures on their mantelpiece. But little boys won't buy the figures, and Filoni knows that, and so he's like, right.
Well, if Filoni knows that, then why did he push Ahsoka and everything? Why did he push that female Inquisitor into all that stuff? Why was that push done by him then?
Or attack fans who didn't like Rey? He did that.
He's working for Disney.
Yeah,
right, and that's the biggest problem right there. And if you're working for Disney and if you're watching Disney, you're a groomer, Jens, a groomer.
Yeah, well, he's a groomer that's doing masculine action.
Yeah, okay.
He knows it sells.
Where's this so-called masculine action? I see de-emasculated action from Disney with Star Wars. That's all I see. And I'm not watching that trash anymore. I stopped watching that trash a long time ago. I seen exactly what they were giving all the fans, and it wasn't what the fans wanted. And you know what? I'm not going to sit there and accept a watered-down substitute of it just because it's the only thing out there.
They also made it canon that when Luke blew up the Death Star, that was just like a minor thing because it was all about Jyn Erso from Rogue One. That is in Disney Star Wars canon now. She was the one who gets most of the praise for the
but it's not in my canon though. Like Rey is not in my canon. Anything that's soy and should be watched by girls is not in my masculine man canon. So
if you're watching new Star Wars stuff, then guess what? Rey is in your canon now.
Yeah,
no,
she's also in Filoni's canon.
Well, no, because it's my canon. I pick and choose what is in my canon. Like in Superman, like Superdog is not in my canon, even though he is in canon, but he's not in my canon. Just because it's canon, don't mean it's got to be in your own personal canon. Because your personal canon is what you like.
Well,
and if
the Mandalorian is in your canon, then the sequel trilogy is too, because they're tied together.
Yeah, but not in my canon. Like if like say they brought Rey into Mandalorian, it'd be like, oh no, this is someone who fucking is not like a Jedi. She's like a fucking
Well, she's not born yet.
overpowered. Yeah, overpowered Mary Sue.
Yeah. Well, she's not born yet anyway. You have Ahsoka though. She's overpowered.
Yeah, well, you got to pull up with that because what it is they know they can't do it too masculine because soy nerds aren't going to watch it too masculine. They're not like John Wick, so they're not going to watch Mandalorian if they're in some beds like making them feel like, oh yeah, they want that much of a soy bitch when they got beat up at school by a girl, or probably beaten up at shops yesterday by a woman, you know.
Well,
what's up, CCDB?
You had both the Mandalorian and Boba Fett get beaten up by women, though.
Didn't I hear something somewhere in there that he had to actually be saved by a woman too?
Oh yeah.
I think when Mandalorian and Boba Fett got beaten up by women, it was because it was written into the script that, oh yeah, you've got to make the women look good. Because probably if I'd have been written it, you'd have got a kick in the stomach and they'd have been out. But that's what happens when you have soy nerds. I've been telling everyone, but they won't listen. But that's what happens when you have soy nerds. They are going to be like, right, okay, they don't know. Well, none of them are physically capable of defending themselves against a woman. So we can have women just beating the crap out of the dudes. They won't know. It's not like they have all their lives nearly had to restrain themselves because they know how much testosterone is running through their bodies that if they do hit a woman, it'd be like hitting a child, and you get sort of like, if not done by the police, you'd get ostracized by most men in your city. But let them find out the hard way.
Yeah, Soul Assassin, he's saying he hopes that the Red Sonja film is good. I heard that they were trying to change the direction of that, but who knows?
Yeah.
At least they cast a redhead.
There's a small positive.
That never happened. Well, the guy who's directing it did direct the Solomon Kane movie, and he was he did really well with that. So the guy is an actual fan of the source material.
Well,
But we don't know if the studio will interfere or anything, though.
well, it don't matter how good the script is because apparently the I keep forgetting her name. Cara Dune, bad.
Gina Carano?
Yeah, Gina Carano. Gina Carano's film. How good is that? Because it's been released on it.
The Prairie one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. It was released last year, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's how good it's gonna be. Red Sonja probably go by like Gina Carano's film, where it's like,
maybe, or it could end up like, or it could end up like Kill Bill.
Oh God, no! It won't end up like Kill Bill because if Tarantino was directing Red Sonja, then yeah, it probably would end up like Kill Bill because there's a lot of people. Or Tarantino could direct me having a shit in the morning. It'd have some arty farty award because it's done by Tarantino.
Yeah.
Red Sonja is going to be like the Red Sonja in the 80s. Crap. You better hope there's
the one from the 80s was crap.
I want a pair of a what's her name? Oh, she was married to Stallone and that who played Red Sonja.
Nielsen.
Yeah, Nielsen thingy. Yeah, but yeah, because she was a good-looking woman, and I tell you something. For good looks and acting ability, she was up there, but it was still shit. It's like having the best female weightlifter, power lifter, and that, doing a film where she's going up against men. It's rather you're going to think, oh, these men are puny cunts because they can't even lift heavier than a woman, or she's going to get dominated. But anyway.
Red Sonja though has divine strength. She gets it from a goddess.
Does she?
Yeah.
So she's like Wonder Woman. Is another Wonder Woman?
No. Well, basically, what happens? She gets raped and her family gets killed. So she walks out into the night and prays to a goddess, and she gets hurt, and she gets divine fighting ability and strength, but she only has it as long as nobody defeats her in combat. So basically, she is ground zero for a Mary Zoo. She is.
Yeah.
But well, she was designed to be over the top, though.
Yeah, well, even though like Wonder Woman, where they're right into the script, yeah, she can throw men around because she's got superpowers. Yeah, but it's still going to be shite. It's still going to be shite because whoever they get, they ain't going to be able to do. It's going to look like if you put a female in the NFL, any position apart from kicker, but you put any position in the lineup, they're going to get hammered.
Yeah, and it's like Red Sonja gets the living daylights beaten out of her in the
I don't care. It's to me, it's written for women. It's like, yeah, if I was a woman, yeah, I'd watch that film. But I'm a man, and I want to see masculine action. I don't want to see females.
Well, if you like masculine action, then why do you keep talking about Disney Star Wars so much?
Because Mandalorian is masculine action.
No, because he got beaten up by women several times.
It don't matter if he gets beaten up by women.
They outsmart him too. They give him all the advice. They teach him everything. And they did the same with Boba Fett. He got emasculated big time.
No, that's because they have to put women in for soy nerds. They have to put women in for soy nerds because it's too masculine.
Still did it, so it happened.
Yeah, but they know Mandalorian. He has to do masculine.
Well, let's say.
What did he do at the end of season 1? He takes down Darth Hoffmuth or whatever his name was. He takes down his TIE fighter single-handedly.
Yeah, right. What happens
in season 2? What happens at season 2? He takes down Moff Gideon single-handedly with hand-to-hand combat.
60 years old.
Yeah, but he's Sith. So
no, he's not a Sith.
How old's the Emperor? How old's the Emperor?
The Emperor is a Sith. Moff Gideon has no force powers whatsoever. He's just a Moff is basically an admiral or a governor.
No, he has fucking Jedi powers. I mean, Sith powers.
No, he does not.
Well, he's been training with enough Siths. It's rubbed off on him that he was a pretty. Yeah,
unless he was trained by Darth Vader, he's not a Sith. That's kind of the point of the Sith.
You don't have to be trained by Darth Vader to be a Sith. You don't have to be trained by Darth Vader to be a Sith. You've just got to know how to use the Force. But anyway,
no, you don't.
Anyway, all right then. Well, whatever he was, the Mandalorian took him down because he was the main villain of that series. None of the women could take him down.
Well, none of them got to him.
No, because the Mandalorian was so masculine. He went, step it all on my pant, love. I'll clear it up. Well, in fact, Luke Skywalker came in and really mocked up. He just took down Moff Gideon. So if you're going to say the Mandalorian got cocked by anyone, he got cocked by Luke Skywalker.
Well, that was only because they nerfed the
but everyone was all the Star Wars community was popping their little cocks off when Luke Skywalker was in there. Like, oh, Luke Skywalker!
Yeah,
Duncop nearly
you know what
cried.
happened?
Duncop was crying. I think he said he shed a tear.
Yeah, that's how dumb he is, because that saved Kathleen Kennedy's job. And look what they've
No,
done to Luke
it
now.
is
They made him
Kathleen
gay.
Kennedy's job. I think you'll find. I think you'll find. I think you'll find it was Obi-Wan Soy Kenobi that saved Kathleen Kennedy's job.
No, that one didn't do well. It was the Baby Yoda shit and Luke Skywalker.
It's got nothing to do with her anyway, so she's claiming.
People blindly cheered for Jake Skywalker showing up, and then a year later they make him gay.
That wasn't Jake Skywalker, that was Luke Skywalker, because he hadn't been copped by a female Jedi like everyone was loving, that everyone went to go see. If everyone was like me and went, why are they having a female Jedi lead character? No, I am not watching that. Should have been gone ages ago. But no, everyone went to see it.
Yeah, and that made the arrow point up for Disney Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy kept her job. And now Luke Skywalker is gay.
Well, that's because soy nerds.
Right. And soy nerds who keep watching this kind of shit. Yeah. So you just outed yourself as a soy nerd. What's going on, Mr. CCTV? Is today Monday? Yes, it absolutely is. Soul Assassin, if you like Mandalorian, read some of the Legends comics and books. Those are the real Mandalorians. He also adds on, read Jango Fett Open Season. It's a comic that the Mando story was ripped off. Yeah, they ripped it off from it. Yeah.
I mean, even the scenes are the same as in the comic. You just
I want the masculine stuff. Yeah, well, it's soy stuff. If you're watching the soy stuff, they're going to produce soy stuff.
Exactly.
You got to watch it.
That's exactly what happened.
Well, it's masculine and it's good. If it's good, I've told you, if it's good and it's masculine, I will watch it. It's when it's soy. When it's scrapping soy, I won't.
Boba Fett getting beaten up by a woman, though, is that masculine or soy?
Well, it's pretty soy writing, but that's what you have to expect with Disney. Like with Moon Knight, they got his bear to be like a kick-ass, like she got a suit and everything. Well, that's what you got to expect with Disney.
Well, it happened on the show, so it has to be soy then.
There's soy bits in it, but there's enough masculine action in Moon Knight, Mandalorian, and Boba Fett that them little soy bits
would
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Would Rambo be as masculine if they had a scene in it where the Vietnamese lady beat him up?
Do you have a scene where the Vietnamese lady beats him up because she helps him escape?
She doesn't beat him up.
Yeah, she like fights over that. Yeah.
No, the Vietnamese lady does not beat up Rambo.
No, she don't beat up Rambo, but she like fucks up a guard or something and then helps Rambo escape.
Yeah, that's fine. But does she beat him up? Would that make Rambo soy if he gets beaten up by that little lady?
He gets help. He gets help by a bird.
That's not what I. That's not what I asked.
Right, she takes one or two dudes out. He takes about 100 out. So no, it ain't that soy compared to the average. Like in Mandalorian,
if that lady also had beaten up Rambo, if they had a fight and she beat him up, would that make the movie soy?
No, because it'd be where Rambo would be letting Rambo would be letting her beat him up, and if the woman gets a fucking cheap shot in, like they did in The Mandalorian, then you never know. And The Mandalorian didn't get beaten up by Cara Dune. It was more of a draw. No, because he stuck the gun to her head and he was going to shoot her, but then she had the gun, so it ended in a draw. But The Mandalorian isn't supposed to be.
I wasn't talking about The Mandalorian, though. I was talking about Boba Fett.
When does Boba Fett get beaten up?
Season 2.
Well, what happens?
he gets his ass handed to him by the female Mandalorian. Bo-Katan's henchwoman.
I don't remember this.
And
This
then
is-
all the women basically scold him and talks down to him, saying that he's not a Mandalorian or whatever the hell it was. So he gets chastised and emasculated in front of a bunch of women by them, and he just takes it.
Well, he probably has that pent up aggression because he gets masculine all the way through that season, and I don't even think he gets beat up. And when dudes get beaten up by women, there is them scenes where they let women beat them up because they know if you beat up a woman, everyone's going to think you're a douchebag.
Well,
And if
basically what that tells the audience is that everything Boba Fett did that was masculine in that show would have been done better by that Mandalorian woman because she beat him, so she's better than him.
Hey, what's going on, Brian? What's going on?
Right.
Good to see you.
You're right.
Jens, you're not talking over me. What's going on, Brian? What's going on, man? I hope you're doing good. We doggies, what up, fellas? Good to see you. Good to see you. And if Mr. CCTV wants to know, is that mescaline or masculine? Papa Cotton says it's mescaline. So I think that's what everybody's going to go with now. It's mescaline. King of Squib says Ewok Adventures over Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Brian adds fighting a woman is a lose-lose proposition.
Yeah. The Mandalorian, I mean, the Boba Fett, the woman is tougher than him, so we should have let her do the action. But the reason why they didn't is because she wouldn't have been able to have done the action as good as a dude. And so this is what they do for soy nerds. They look like, oh yeah, women are really tough. Look, the Mandalorian got beaten up by a woman, but look how tough he is. But that's what you got to put up with soy stuff. If you don't want to watch soy stuff like that, then watch some Accident Man or any Scott Adkins film.
Maybe it's Maybelline. I think here's the biggest problem, Jens. And maybe you'll agree with this. The problem, I think, with a lot of this stuff is you're talking about the masculine action and the stuff that people want to see. I think everything has gotten polluted and it's got so dumbed down and watered down to this point that anything that even somewhat resembles a halfway decent Star Wars, everybody's going to latch onto it, whether it's good all the way through or not. So now you've gotten to the point where you're readily able to accept a little bit, as you say, as the soy stuff. You're willing to accept a little bit of it if the rest of it is good. Should you be accepting a little bit of it just so you can get something that's semi-good? That's the problem I see with a lot of this. Because once you get a little bit, what's to stop them from keeping injecting just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more? Because that's what they've been leaning into. Yeah,
but that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's knowing, like, because it's always been going on. Like Commando, he gets helped by a bird in Commando.
Yeah, but helps him escape.
No, but
she blows up a truck he's in.
But she blows up her truck and that, which is more impressive. But anyway, there's always been that sort of like, we'll have the bird who helps him, you know. But you don't. I don't want to see action led by the female, and that's what they think you soy nerds want.
Well,
we'll be like giving you stuff that, look, it's Cara Dune, she's gonna be kicking ass. So
but what's worse though, having a female lead or having a male lead that gets beaten up by women?
Yeah, but if the male lead like redeems himself, because there's been a few films where the male lead has been a little pussy soy bitch in the beginning, gets his ass whooped by women. That's usually why he has to man up, because he's a laughing stock. And then at the end of the film, he's like zenned out. He's the man.
Well, also Luke Skywalker got his ass handed to him by a woman.
Yeah,
not on the Mandalorian though. Happened
in the EU.
In a flashback scene in the sequel trilogy, Leia beat him.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's canon.
Leia's tiny.
Yeah, my canon is all the masculine stuff. That's why I don't even remember Boba Fett getting beaten up by a bear, because that's not in my canon.
Yeah, because you wanted to ignore that it was happening.
you're
Yeah,
So
because they're being
basically
bull
just-
trapped. I'd have thought, oh yeah, they're writing that in just to make these soy nerds feel a bit better by getting beaten up by a woman. Oh yeah, women are tough. Look, they can beat up.
So you're
Boba
basically
Fett.
just keeping a few scenes canon without the story tied to them.
Well, no, keeping my canon story. Where my canon story is Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Chewbacca, and that they all kicked ass. And with Qui-Gon Jinn at the beginning with Obi-Wan and that, and then Princess Leia, she helped out and that. And then Orlando Calrissian, he helped out. And then Boba Fett, he's kicking ass. With Boba Fett. Oh, the Mandalorian, isn't that?
Well,
kicking ass?
Boba Fett in the Mandalorian is retarded.
Yeah, but the kicking ass though. It's masculine action. It's stuff where you're like, fucking that is good. That is good. That ain't no fucking Obi Soy Kenobi just sat around hiding like a little bitch.
Well, that's
So,
that's what Boba Fett did too, though. It was teaching the Sand People how to drive a bike and dancing with them.
So, Jens, you got a question here. Do you like gladiator films?
Yeah. Because like in the gladiator films, there's women gladiators, but how many is there? There's one or two of them that you don't see much of. And that was in the gladiator film in the 90s. When they're bringing all this in. See, they want to make out like women are really tough and strong, but obviously they know they're not, because that's why they have women's leagues and everything else. Because most women leagues are subsidized by the men's league. If it won't for them taking
They're
money
also
from the
more
men's
masculine
league.
now because they have guys in it.
Yeah, it has made it better because the world records are getting faster and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you know what? Stop, drop and roll. You just actually led into one of the few topics that I was able to upload because my internet sucks at balls. So I actually got a clip for this. So we just led right into it. Nice. Leading right into it with that kind of nonsense right there, like these people that actually sitting there telling people, pronouns and stuff like that, and transgendered youth, these kind of things should not be topics. And it's kind of funny how that just kind of led right into it. I am so sick of seeing this shit. Whatever happened to the idea of just let a kid be a kid? Why did we have to have all this shit put into our entertainment? Why did we have to hear these lunatics running around telling people that their kids should be chopped up and be pretty much emasculated from what they were supposed to be for the sake of somebody who may actually just need some counseling or may need some help? Because every kid goes through that stage of their life where they're a little bit confused about what's going on because of hormones and everything. And there's been a lot of people that have talked about this kind of shit. But we gotten to this point where this stuff has been interjected into a lot of our besides politics, but in our entertainment, into our books, into our classrooms. And to the point where
into Star Wars, actually, because they added pronouns to all the Star Wars characters.
Made Soy Kenobi into a pronoun
Yeah, all of them. All of them have pronouns now.
And they did the same thing with Transformers as well. So you got Nightbird, who's a non-binary with they them pronouns, and then you have RC, who apparently now not only was she not originally female, but now she was male, and she's not even the male who was brutalized by Jyaxis and turned into a female. No, now she requested to be turned into a female, and then she became lesbian. So now she's basically a man with extra steps.
Side note, though, when it comes to non-binary, Star Wars Episode 4 has 2 cases of it. The first one is C-3PO knows how to talk to non-binary load lifters. So it was already there, non-binary stuff. And the second one is actually Jabba the Hutt, because the Hutts are hermaphrodites, which falls under LGBTQ. They just don't have a letter, but they're included. So Jabba the Hutt is LGBTQ representation, and I dare say quite accurately.
Well, I don't know, because some of them hermaphrodites will have operations to produce them to one sex, where they'll have a penis chopped off.
The Hutts pick their gender.
Boy, well, yeah. All I'm saying is it's probably because there was too many people watching, like, Wonder Woman and Charlie's Angels, and, well, too many dudes reading and watching Wonder Woman and Charlie's Angels.
In the corner, though, you have to watch.
Yeah, and, any other, like, female-led. And so they're thinking, right, well, obviously, these so-called males want to be females.
Yeah, I've noticed a thing that a lot of them tend to take new names, and it's often the name of their favorite anime female character.
Yeah, like
so they basically keep watching anime and they want to be that female character.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. It's like if you're watching female led stuff, unless it's something like the Golden Girls or something where it's a comedy, and unless you want to be relating to like 60-year-old women, if it's action films and that, it like if you watch too much of them, you'll start probably having dreams of where you're like Lara Croft or whatever, and then you know, as Tommy was saying, some people they have that bit of mixed emotions when they're going through certain times in their lives, and all of a sudden you're walking out there dressed as Black Widow, ready for your cock to be shot.
It's kind of like they want to fuck Lara Croft, but they're also so narcissistic that Lara Croft have to be them, so they fuck themselves.
Yeah. Somewhat on the lines of where if they fucking can't be, if they can't be with Laura, then they might as well be Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, but yeah. All I'm saying though is, if anything, if you watch a lot of movies, because that's why I love watching action movies, so I think I'm fucking masculine action and that. But if you like, say you watch a lot of clown movies, every movie, you could even include It, but it's more of a horror. But if it was loads of films with clowns in and that, sooner or later you're gonna get an urge to get dressed up as a clown and fucking go out and squirt someone in the face with a fucking soda, fucking.
So it's kind of the old thing that you become what you consume.
Yeah. That's why horror movies, they are designed to make you into a little bitch, where if you're watching a lot of horror movies, all your mind is thinking is scream, run, and fucking hope that you don't get killed because you're a little bitch, sort of mentality of like, give up.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I think only the weak-minded think like that, Jens.
Well, that's yeah.
So you're admitting you're weak-minded. So now, so we've got confessions out of you tonight, Jens. This has been a better night. Not only are you weak-minded, but you're also soy, and you like soy masculine action. You said so yourself.
Yeah. I took cock and fucking ass creep people who I think are fucking better than me, and are going to give me fucking loads of views. But anyway, apart from that, though, yeah. I am a bit sort of like weak-minded when it comes to entertainment or something. I soak it in so much, I get engrossed in that. So fucking, that's why I don't watch slasher movies, because I definitely won't relate to the people getting slashed up. So I'd relate to the fucking people who slashing them up, and then I'd be some kind of axe murderer or something. That's why I don't watch them.
Real quick, I want to get to some of these comments. So Brian says the message, young men and boys, is you are shit. If you want to be stunning and brave, castrate yourself, chemical or surgical, your choice. Soul Assassin adds on, there was a gay romance in Star Wars. There was a Mandalorian gay couple.
Yeah,
is that something
that was in the old EU?
Couldn't give a fuck as long as a masculine action. I like Freddie Mercury. He was fucking Elton John. They're gay, but if they're going to get dressed up in a Mandalorian suit and kick some ass, I'll watch it.
Brian also says the ruling class is fighting a culture war, so they don't have to fight a class war. They've always been trying to find a way to avoid that stuff, but that's the thing. That's why they're sitting on top with all the money so they can make everybody underneath them do their bidding. And you know what those people are called? They're called useful idiots. And usually they're the first to go once that they've attained power. The useful idiots are the first to go because they will be the biggest problem if they allow them to stick around too long and they realize that they got used. Yeah,
that reminds me of the sort of scene where I just been watching it before early on today of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, where there's a scene in it where this Klingon bird, she's like got these coordinates off the Enterprise and that, and she's delivering it to this Vulcan ship, with this, I think it's a rogue Klingon, but it's played by Christopher Lloyd. But anyway, these dudes who are transporting this bird want to get paid money, but she's on like a suicide mission, and she tells, she gives the detail and the information and that, sort of like downloads it onto the computer and that, and then Christopher Lloyd just blows her up, and these dudes don't get paid because they weren't going to get paid anyway, but they got used. In other words.
I'll tell you what, going back and watching some of those old Star Trek movies, I did it recently. And even the first motion picture, which I found extremely boring as a kid, looking back at that now compared to some of the shit that they're putting out right now, that thing is stunning compared to the garbage that's on TV. The shit that's so bad, I see a trailer and I refuse to watch the damn shows.
Speaking of stunning things in trailers, Trina is in the chat.
Hey, Trina, what's going on? I hope that you were doing well. Also, see Keely Chow's in the house. What is up, Keely? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, Brian. Yep. Yeah. Night of the Long Knives. Soul Assassin says, it's okay, Jens. We forgive you, but we'll make fun of you for being kind of soy.
Well, yeah, that's because, like, males, I've got a bit of soyness. But it's knowing the soyness, so that's the thing. Where I know Mamma Mia is soy. I know that's soy as fuck because I know about masculinity. Now, people who don't know about masculinity and that might think that some programs aren't that soy, and so they might want to lie to themselves and like say that they're not watching some soy shit where they are. But I'm so masculine that I can admit it because.
Did you like The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis? Because she mostly used knives and rifles in it. She doesn't really beat anyone hand to hand.
Yeah, well, as I say, if you want to watch female lead action films, watch them. But I just don't.
So what
I
you're
didn't
what
tell
you're
you, but
saying
like Mamma
is
Mia.
what you're saying is you feel threatened by any kind of action that's not male action because you are not confident in your masculinity.
No, I'm overconfident in my masculinity that I'm thinking, why are these soy cunts letting a bear beat them up? There must be rather A, watching too much Wonder Woman and fucking Black Widow and Charlie's Angels, or they're not trained. They've just been like sort of like recruits. And so, why am I watching a film where they've got recruits do this? And when you watch them films, I could do like loads of like, but it made me having to watch the. Well, I won't have to watch the film, but I'd have to watch the action bits, which would be like. But I could show you where dudes are like having to stop and wait for the bed to catch up, or they're having to do like they did on oh, the one where look, it's the second sequel of the it's like Force Awakens, and then fucking well, anyway, where it was the Imperial Guard that had to do with spinning sort of thing because he knew fucking she couldn't be able to like take.
What?
Yeah, I know it was crazy, but they filmed it because women aren't as quick, and so when you want to film great action, it'd be like when you want to film great sporting fucking achievements. Well,
It depends a bit on which women, though, because if you have the Chinese action movies, where you have a lot of the female leads are black belts in all kinds of shit.
yeah,
And they
but
actually,
they're better off. They're better off playing a bit part. It's like men's football or men's sport. Women don't take a centre key role. They're like a bit part in it. They're like some you watch, like just to get you ready for the main action.
So wait a minute. So what you're saying is you feel threatened by them.
No, I don't feel that. That's why. Why? If you're masculine enough, you won't feel threatened by a woman. That's why I don't want to watch that shit, because I know there's no. It's like a 15-year-old boy. I don't feel threatened by them neither, but I don't want to watch them doing action films.
Crazy. As far as I'm concerned, most of those things don't bother me. If a movie is good, I really don't care who's starring it. I just ask two things: that they have a good story arc where they're not somebody who's just so overpowered that it's impossible to beat them, and that they're just handing everything. I want to see somebody that actually got a little bit of growth to their character in the story. That was one of the reasons why a lot of those early movies that we were watching, like, I don't care if it was Star Wars, I don't even care if it was Rambo, because even in Rambo, there's a little bit of an arc in the beginning of First Blood when it first starts. He's not right there in the beginning just kicking the living shit out of everybody. He's getting pushed around and he's getting bullied a bit before he winds up fighting back. So even that has a little bit of an arc to it. You look at Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars series, there was an arc to him. He didn't start off like this great fighter pilot or somebody who was learning Jedi skills. He started off as a simple farm boy who was getting his ass handed to him by the Sand People. That's right, I didn't say Tusken Raiders, I said Sand People. He got his ass handed to him by them. And if you look at some of the early Star Trek movies, even those, there was a little bit of an arc with them as well. Even though we already knew those characters from the original TV run, they expanded on them in the movies, and they still created a bit of an arc in those as well. And towards the end of those movies, it's almost be like they become a little bit OP in a way, but not so much that they can't be taken down. And I think that's a problem when you start looking into this stuff and you think it has to be a man and a man only in every single scene or it's no good. Then you kind of miss out on a little bit of, well, what if this woman could learn those kind of skills and be able to get into that position herself? I think there's more than enough room for all of them, and I am not threatened by them at all because I don't worry about anything or anyone. So it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
The Aliens movies would not be the same without Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, but they're not action though. They're more suspense.
Part 2 is definitely action.
Yeah, that's why they brought dudes in.
What happened to the dudes at the end?
Well, they have to make it for the females, you know. To be fair to Aliens, they did know, like, yeah, we can't have her beating up dudes. We do realise she is a scientist bad. She ain't no crazy army officer, but she has to do what she wants, and she probably didn't watch much like female stuff neither, because she seems a bit masculine to go Sigourney Weaver, and the character Ridley, she's supposed to be a bit of a tomboy ever. And in number 3, in number 3 we see that she's gonna get her ass like raped and that shit, and she has to have a help of a dude who like built twice her size, comes in, beats the crap out of these rapists, and that, I think, with a lead pipe, but you know, I think there's about 3 or 4 of them anyway. And so it's like, yeah, she ain't ass kicking. She's more of just a survivalist, which she don't do in number 3. But apparently, originally, they wasn't going to do a number 3 with Sigourney Weaver. They was going to do it with the dude, and then they was going to do a 4 with Sigourney Weaver in, and then I think a 5.
They actually just released the unused original script for Alien 3 as a novel and as an audio play, and Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen did the audio play. So it was
Is it on YouTube?
released. What?
Is it on YouTube or?
No, you have to buy it on audio or buy the novel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But I think it was very focused on Hicks.
Yeah, the dude.
But, don't take my word for it, though. But I know Hicks was in it and he survived.
Well, and apparently they were going to do 3 with Sigourney Weaver in, and then 4 with Sigourney Weaver in, and then 5 with team up with them doing whatever. And I think it might have been like a 5th trilogy they were going to do, but for whatever reason, they went with number 3 with it being in like a mental prison and that.
Hey, what's up, Small Time Republic? Good to see you. Soul Assassin, Vasquez was cool in Aliens. That new book, I hear, does her dirty.
Oh, did it ever? Holy shit, that book was retarded.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, that was. You know what? I very rarely give a book a 1 because there's always something to like in it. But that one was just. She had the writer had done no research into how military,
Your female writer not knowing about military procedures. Oh, that's a rarity.
Yeah, and it's a Latina character, and they had a Latina lady write it simply because she's a Latina. Yeah. So it was holy crap, and I had hopes for that book because Vasquez was cool, but not anymore.
I said there was hope for Gina Carano's film, but we didn't end much about my way. But anyway, when did it get released?
The Vasquez novel?
Yeah.
Last year.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know about it. No.
Yeah. Skip it. Seriously,
Oh,
it's
damn right,
yeah, they
No,
made
I
her
don't-
bisexual, and single mom that gave up her kid for a career.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess
fucking-
I have no interest in that kind of stuff. What Trina says, seriously though, X Files works so well because of Mulder and Scully. You know what? One of my favorite episodes, and I'm not a humongous X Files fan. I'll just preface it that right there. My father was, and my wife is. Both of those two huge X Files fans. So when they would rewatch it, I would see more episodes that way. But I always liked that one Christmas special where they were stuck in that house with the ghosts and they kind of turn on each other.
Yeah, that was sometimes they had like really cheesy episodes, but they were great.
Oh well,
You know?
yeah. If the X Files won it, you wouldn't expect in reality sort of thing. But I didn't watch it because I thought it was a bit soy. Like two, it seemed all right if you like could be asked to put up with like 3 or 4 sort of like hours of listening to stuff, and then because the storyline was like plotted through it, but some of the episodes was like an hour of sometimes boring stuff. Like, oh god, no one got shot in it for a start. There was episodes where no one died, so I was like, bit soy.
You got a very strange taste in what is good. Nelson the Psychopath. Hey, Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man? Vasquez, have you? I think that was Bill Paxton, wasn't it? That said that to
No,
her?
it was
No?
the other guy. Well, yeah, she said it to Bill Paxton. Yeah, she was next to Drake, which was her kind of boyfriend.
It was ahead of its time? I think so. I think there was a lot of stuff that did in X-Files that was actually pretty amazing.
Oh, and another one that was really ahead of its time was Twin Peaks. That's a masterpiece.
Hey, Lady T of the Stars. I hope that you were doing well.
Speaking of masterpieces, Lady Toriel's in the chat.
Leaving a like, we'll catch the replay at work. Good journey. Well, I hope that you have a good one. I know it's getting a little bit late there, isn't it? The X-Files was based on Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Yeah, you see, my mother used to watch all that stuff. She used to watch a lot of weird stuff.
That one I've never even heard of, to be honest. Kolchak, the Night Stalker?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to look that one up.
Oh, Brian, you probably remember this quote then. It had been like the old days. We would have kicked ass. Vasquez was a Mexican Joe. Nelson, what's up, Nelson? Trina says she loved Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it has depth. It's like people are still coming up with theories because the series is kind of insane, but once you look closer and closer, there's logic to the insanity, which makes it kind of awesome because then you're investing in it, right?
God, I am still trying to get this last clip uploaded, and this internet is just not cooperating. I don't know if it's the internet or if it's StreamYards. Could be StreamYards. Nah, Brian's talking about Twin Peaks too. See,
Yeah.
that's something I never watched. Just there's certain shows, regardless of how good they supposedly are, they're just not in my wheelhouse of stuff that I want to watch.
I think you'd like it, actually. I think it would be up your alley.
Well, I did surprise a few people. We will be talking about that on Trina's on Wednesday. We'll be talking about The Voices. That one I really liked. It was surprising because it was just so different.
The Voices?
Yeah, The Voices with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I know it's for free on Tubi. Beyond that, I'm not sure where else it's even available or if it's available anywhere else right now. At one point, it was on Amazon, but I think it got pulled. But I'm not sure.
I live on an island, so the high seas is pretty close by.
Get a few port stops. They're in the port where ships docking. Yeah.
Yeah, King of Squibs. I know a few people have been having problems with StreamYards. It's just when it's working good, it's working good. But when you start having issues with it, it is the biggest piece of trash in the world. It kind of makes me wonder why I'm paying for it. I think at this point they should be paying me for putting up with lousy service, these son of a bitches. Almost like putting up with some of these idiots on YouTube. Well, we're going to start winding it down in a minute. But I want to give last thoughts to everybody. What do you I mean, is there anything really on your mind about the direction of some of these franchises that are taken and something that you want to see happen in any of them? I know we were talking about the a lot of this different stuff, like we were talking about RC with the Transformers. I would like to see them scrap this shit and go back to common sense like they did when they fired IDW, and not go back into the same shit that they fired them for. Because Hasbro, you are already losing money. You are on the verge of bankruptcy. If you keep going down this path, that small percentage of people that are screaming for this kind of shit are not going to be able to keep your company afloat, because guess what? They are not buying your products. You are throwing people away that were longtime customers like myself who spent thousands of dollars a year on your products in favor of this woke ideology crap that nobody really wants. Because a few people that are out there screaming and yelling for that, we want this, they are not real fans. Because I guarantee if you even ask them some of the particulars of how this supposedly happened in the original stories, the best that they're going to be able to do is go on Google or Wikipedia and pull something off there, because they don't know nothing about it really. They just want something to be able to yell at and point to. See, it's here. And that's all they have. There are a bunch of, what do you call them? Franchise tourists?
Oh, yeah, franchise tourists. They basically jump from franchise to franchise based on what's trending, so they can force themselves to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, and what else to do?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, Stieg, anything?
I don't think it's well. If I use Star Wars as an example, you can't fix anything unless you decanonize the stuff Disney's already made, all of it. You need to go back to where it worked, right? And that's not happening. But and I don't mind that too much, because I've been watching piles of movies, great movies that I've never seen before. So it's basically, if the road ahead is covered in shit, turn around and walk the other way. You don't have to wade through shit. If there's alternatives, right?
Well, what alternatives are? Because they don't know any.
And I see a lot of people go, "Yeah, we're watching it and reviewing it, so you don't have to." Like, well, nobody asked you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, I think a lot of those people are being dishonest, especially the people that are watching. They actually really want to watch this stuff. They have to. Yeah. Because if you don't want to watch it, why would you put yourself through it? That would be like me saying, hey, everybody in the chat, I know this shit from Disney is going to suck. I'm going to punish myself and watch it just so I can tell you how bad it is. I am not going to waste my time with it. That's what I'm going to do. I am not going to enjoy it. And if I'm not going to enjoy it, then why am I going to sit there and put myself through it?
Also, there's another thing. If you want to watch it, just admit it and watch it.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Jens openly admits that he likes watching Moon Knight. Now, why I cannot agree with his choice of watching Disney. It's his choice. It's his choice to watch it. That's his choice.
Yeah, it was masculine. As I say, because it was Disney, I knew it was not going to be the Moon Knight that what like a Netflix like R-rated Moon Knight would have been like. So I was prepared for like girly chick flick bits in it, but they had a good masculine action scenes in with Moon Knight kicking ass. That like, yeah.
Trina, real quick, Jens, hold on. Trina, I've actually talked about this point a few times too, and then act like pirating is somehow better. No, pirating Disney crap means you still like it. And not only that, what a lot of people don't understand is everything could be followed on the internet right now. I don't care if you're on a stream with somebody and you're being shared a screen. I was on Twitter and somebody had shared some new toy that was coming out, and I seen it on Twitter. And I was like, well, that looks kind of interesting. Didn't really give it much thought. It was just interesting, not something that I would have wanted to buy. So when I wound up going on to my search engine and I opened up my search engine, all of a sudden I got a suggestion for things to buy pop up there with this toy that I had seen on Twitter. It means that they're following you across all platforms. As long as you're on the internet, they're following everything you do.
Yeah,
and then they're trying to push it. So with that being said, Disney is paying attention to all the people that are pirating it, and then they are actually taking those numbers and putting it down as, oh, there's a lot more people interested in this show than we're seeing in the numbers. That's how they inflate shit, and that's how they're able to keep going with it, like they're doing really well.
Do you like Beauty and the Beast, Jens? The old animated movie?
Oh, pardon?
Do you like Beauty and the Beast, the old animated movie?
I thought you were talking about Beauty and the Beast with Sarah Connor and Hellboy. Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, me too. It's one of my favorite movies.
They're for chicks, though.
Yeah.
They're all right for women.
It's soy as hell, but I still like it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, if you like soy stuff, well, there's some dudes who will claim, oh yeah, Lara Croft in soy. It's like, yeah, it is because it's a woman. It's like watching female sport. It's soy. You might want to watch it because you like to see fit females, but it's still going to be soy action.
Soul Assassin, he's talking about this as something that me and Steve just seen the other day. I seen it happen on Twitter. Arguments. People claim something, then they reply 20 minutes later when an answer, yeah, because they're going on Google and they're going on Wikipedia, and then they're coming back with this bullshit.
Oh yeah. You know what though? That's kind of fun. I used to be on with Alora for the EU coffee chat thing for over a year. And we would go through the old comics and stuff like that and basically promote the old Star Wars, right? And people would be in the chat cheering us on, and this is awesome. Yeah, the only real Star Wars is the 6 movies and the expanded universe, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Later on, we saw the same people on Disney show channels cheering that on.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. They're like, oh yeah, the High Republic is so awesome, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that guy said exactly the opposite 15 minutes ago on Alora's in Alora's chat.
Yeah, grifters. They're like, no, that there's so many dumb people out there that they don't really do much back. Sort
of like they don't have opinions of their own. They'll just agree with whoever they're watching just to be noticed.
Yeah. Well. There's so many dumb people who don't even know about their backstory or whatever, that they'll just see them and sub or whatever to them just because they've agreed with them.
It's whatever the popular topic is at the time, and that's what they latch onto. And Angelus was saying it's like Sherlock Holmes ignoring all the evidence. What's up, Draven? I hope you're doing well. I seen Adam Shawham was also in the chat, and Vinny's in the chat. What's up, Vinny, man? I hope you're doing well.
Speaking of stuff with odd backgrounds, here's Vinny.
He's coming to get you with his pirate story and working on City of Venus too right now.
And it's rated R.
Arr. Soul Assassin, it's like that Hogwarts game. I just told people to play the damn game if they want and don't say you're doing to get back at SJWs. That is such a weak stance. If you feel like you got to play a game to get back at somebody, you're not playing it because you wanted to. You have become what you call the enemy at that point.
Tom, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
No, because his first love is the sea.
Nice one. Yeah, Soul Assassin. I've
learned
actually
it from Sporking. Actually, Sporking taught me that one.
That's nice. That's a good one, though. You know what? Where have I heard that before? Oh, you know what? Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Soul Assassin, he says, hey, I sent you a video of self-transforming Optimus Prime. Yeah, I know all about that thing. I know when people started first talking that thing about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, they thought it was some big brand new thing and it was so cool and blah, blah, blah. That thing is old as shit. There was a third-party company that was making that thing years ago. I forget if it was a Korean company, a Japanese company, Chinese company. It doesn't matter. They were making this thing a while ago. It was unbranded, and it was going for a quarter of the price of what they're selling it now once Hasbro actually teamed up with them and then did all the proper labeling and promoting for it under the Transformers label, and they jacked the price up to ridiculous levels. I've seen that thing before. I mean, they've since the original one came out, they've added a transforming trailer and everything. And don't get me wrong, the thing is kind of cool, but it's not worth the money that they're charging for that damn thing. No way in hell is it worth that much.
Hey, did you know what Jack Sparrow said when he saw Amber Heard on the beach?
There she blows.
Land ho.
And he ain't turning around. Okay, so we are going to start winding this down because I want to get off this thing because the internet is starting to drive me nuts. It's getting a little bit wonky on me. So we are going to go with this.
Very interesting. I see your hobbies are drinking, smoking weed, and all types of ill shit.
Oh, hi. What am I supposed to say again?
Just let everybody know what you got going on. Whether you should tell them to check out your RC post that you had on Twitter because it doesn't have enough views yet.
It's the most popular post all year. It's got a 1.7 million views now. Last I checked, it just keeps going up and up, and the rage is continuing. So it's fascinating. Other than that, Teresa's book stream on Saturday. Top 10 with Mora. Wednesday evening, 8 Eastern, I think it is. We're doing our monthlies, top 10. And this will be top 10 movies from each year, or rather, our top movie from each individual year from 2000. I think it was 2000 through 2009. So our favorite.
That's going to be a short list, ain't it?
Well, it's going to be a 10.
I don't think I could make 10.
Well, not 10 per year. Our number one in individual years, but we're covering 10 years. So it's kind of like a 2000 will be one of them, her favorite movie from 2000. And then the next one will be 2001 and so on. It's very advanced.
What about Mara's show? Is she still breaking or
the what?
Mara Cringe Factory.
Oh, that's once per month as well.
Okay.
So that's maybe next week. I have a hard time keeping track, even though I'm doing a lot less YouTube.
Yeah, it gets to be a bit much after a while. Stig, thanks for coming on and hanging out. And
thank you for having me on, and always a pleasure. And thank you to Jens for being good company, and the chat as well.
The chat is always the best, ain't they? Love those guys. But without them,
I'm 50-50 about them because I know a couple of them, and they're not well in the head. But you know, we learn to live with them, amongst them.
Thank you, Soul Assassin, for dropping links. Appreciate that. Yeah, Vinny. I was talking about the agenda formers earlier. And I got no patience for them whatsoever. So we got our buddy over here.
He don't know talking good like me and you. So his vocabularistics is limited.
Yeah, well, they are a bit limited, but what I got is a stream tomorrow, hopefully, in that, where be doing it around about 2 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, which I think's about 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, sort of thing. Where hopefully Nelson the psychopath will be on, because I gave him a film to review from the 80s called The New Barbarians, and which is a great film, and that non-soy, pure masculine. Even though I don't want to spoil the film, but there is some soy bits in it. But yeah, well, anyway, Nelson, he gave me the film Safe with Jason Statham, done in 2018, I think, or 17, something like that, which is real masculine and all. So we'll be talking about them, hopefully. And then I've got, I usually put the link in the chat, so if anyone else wants to pop on and that. And then I've got a Twitter account at 27A Pedersen.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Jens. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us on, and cheers to Stig and all for having a good natter about pop culture and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you never know where it's going to go, especially when I said get off my lawn. I wasn't sure exactly where it was going to go. I actually was trying to upload another topic, just a laughing topic, but unfortunately, like I said, the internet is not working with me, and it's actually giving me a hard time right now. I'm getting a little bit of that. It almost wants to glitch on me, and it's driving me absolutely insane. CenturyLink, you still suck. Still suck. But guys, thank you so much, everybody that's been in the chat. Soul Assassin for dropping all those links, for everybody, for Miss Martin, for Mara, for Trina as well. Guys, we'll be on Trina's channel on Wednesday talking about The Voices with Ryan Reynolds. Awesome movie. If you haven't seen that one, check it out on Tubi, or if you can find it somewhere else and watch it, I would recommend watching that one. It is a very strange movie. Something I caught completely by accident and started sharing out with everybody. And so far, everybody's gotten back to me about that one. They said they enjoyed it. But you know what? It's the same thing that we always do. We have to sit there and we have to fight back against these idiots the best way we can. And me, I like to give them a little bit of truth, and then I like to mock the shit out of them. Steve just likes to stir up trouble like he can, because that's what Vikings do, man. He knows how to get on everybody's nerves right now to the tune of 1.7 million views.
Oh, fucking soy. Nothing's masculine. Not as masculine as Batman having sex with She-Hulk. You're sticking to Marvel and DC. Thank you, everybody.
we had a drive-by batting on the channel. Guys, if you haven't, you got to stop by and check out Vinny as well. Vinny and I go on Thursdays with Collectible Pass, and then Vinny has the Friday stream as well as the Sunday Roundtable stream. So if you haven't, stop by and see Bat Vinny.
Absolutely. Never miss out. I'm shooting streams everywhere across She-Hulk. And sorry I wasn't here earlier. I was eating bad fish.
How you crossing? Like,
Hard.
yeah,
pirate.
I will say, yeah, you don't see that because it's a DC Marvel sort of like combo.
It's the best crossover you're gonna get all year.
Yeah.
Fuck James Gunn.
You know what I say? There's people over at Marvel, a bunch of slack-jaw faggots. See, I don't give a shit. I will say it on my channel. What's the worst they can do? Hit me for it? I don't care. Auntie Susan is gone. It's going to save YouTube. Just like Disney was going to save Star Wars. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for being here. Later, everyone.
Bye.
Remember, Batman loves you.
Forget the bitch, you should bet. Assimilated, but you don't know it yet. Attacking us is not very wise. Our army's growing if we see through your lies. What we are looking at, good and evil, right and wrong. It's a big world order. A big world order. A big world order. A big world order. Somebody's gonna wind up getting their toes nibbled off in here. A big world order. 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 Better hide your toes as we're coming for. A big world order. A big world order. A big world order.